All right, ladies and gentlemen, my name is CJ. This is Martin, and we are here in
Shelsley, Walsh, with the hill climb. And is this anyone's first hill climb today? How many people have been here before? Oh, I like that. Okay. And does anyone have any idea of all the guests, amazing guests we have today? We've got DDE, Maximilian Cooper, JWW, and Nico. But first and foremost, we have the legend.
They got me out of the way first, didn't they? That is literally what's happened.
No, we start with the bar super high, and then the rest of the day is a bit underwhelming, just so you're aware.
You're planning on me lowering it then?
All right, ladies and gentlemen, can we make some noise for Ben Fowler today, please?
Hey, guys. That sounded like we were watching a polite game of cricket on the village green. One more time, give it up for Mr. Ben Fowler. That's what I'm talking about.
Welcome to this wonderful day.
It's been interesting so far. I think a lot of the energy that these guys had, I had about 3 or 4 minutes ago when I had a bit of a moment at the top of the hill.
So what happened at the top of the hill?
I became overconfident in the 40 or so seconds that it took me to get there, and that resulted in me nearly having a very large moment.
You got a change of underwear today, yeah?
It's going to be needed. Like, basically, at the bottom, the issue is I have my friends Matt, and they're always around, but they are also a very bad influence. Matt Jones, which is Matt Armstrong's cameraman, managed to get in the car with me to go up the hill a minute ago and proceeded immediately to go launch it. Turn TC off, launch it, push it. Everybody's watching. You're so slow. Like, it was just absolute bombardment. And I proceeded to launch it, then very quickly put the traction control back on, whilst hearing the words from Ben Collins a few minutes before going, the exits of the corners are very slippery. So I was slowing down, trying to be good. And then all I saw was the last bit, which is just a straight. Now, after you've navigated the elevation changes, hills, corners, and you get to the straight, you think, there we go, make up my time here, send it. Forward up. That was where my issues began, because the car then proceeded to hit a very large standing body of water and go left, right. And I must have sworn after that it must have been getting on for 30 to 40 times. So it was a bit spooky.
So what have we learned? Do not succumb to peer pressure, all right?
Faster in the corner next time, slower on the straights. That's what we've learned.
That's what she said. All right, we're going to talk more about what's going on today. But before we get to that, I'm really intrigued to find out about your Lake YouTube channel, because you got some really interesting things happening over there, right?
Yeah, that's my other life away from cars. In cars, I do an automotive podcast. Some of you might have seen some of the guests. But I ended up with another YouTube channel, which was digging a fishing lake in a field much like this. Mm-hmm. And I didn't even mean to make any content around it. I just got really angry with the local planning department, similar to how Clarkson did on Clarkson's farm, and thought, screw all you lot, I'm making a video telling everybody just how annoying you all are. And it ended up doing strangely really well. We filmed the whole thing and have now ended up with, a really fast-growing, cool channel. It's doing kind of 250,000 views a video.
Oh, amazing.
It's insane after like only a few videos. But the issue with me is I've got two passions.
Sorry, 1 second. Pipe down back there, guys. Come on, have some consideration.
Cars and fishing.
You can't get more varied of passion.
I know. It's definitely ADHD traits from when I'm younger, just wanting to do everything. But cars and fishing. So I'm now getting to a point where I'm like, how do I try and combine cars and fishing? So I have come up with an idea.
What is that idea?
I am going to drag race in 2 weeks' time the world record casting champion fisherman versus my Lamborghini on a runway not far from here. And before you all think I've completely lost my mind, this guy can genuinely cast a 1/4 mile. He's got a 14-foot carbon fiber, stiff as hell rod, really thin line, but like with a bit on the end that stops it snapping. And he will like overhead send it. Now the lead, which is what he's casting, accelerates to 125 mile an hour instantaneously. But then the drag from the line then starts to slow it down. Where the car obviously has to start from 0 and build up to that speed, but will keep going while the lead's slowing down. So we've calculated that they're going to cross the line within a second of each other.
Really?
Do you fancy your chances, though?
Oh, yeah.
What are you guys saying? The Lamborghini's going to win it? Who's saying the Lamborghini's going to win it? Yeah. And who's with the fisherman?
But if something's taught, and if anything's taught us something today, it's that I can't drive in a straight line. So.
And you struggle in wet conditions.
Yes.
But you got physics on your side, so we have that.
Yeah. 100%.
All right. So let's talk about your podcast. Is it The Road to Success?
Yeah, Road to Success. We've just been doing it just over a year now. It all started because I saw a video on Car Throttle's YouTube channel years ago about what can you do for £1,000 in a van.
Mm-hmm.
And they made, their idea was to make this van into like a little studio in the back. And I thought, what a wicked idea, because there's so many people starting podcasts trying to talk to people, but the issue they have is guests and their time. Like, how do you get that guest? How do you get them to come to you and sit in a shed in your back garden or a studio in the middle of London or something?
Sure.
Can't do it. So I thought, what if you take the studio and the environment to keep it the same to them, and built a studio in the back of a VW Crafter van, which allowed me access suddenly into all these guests because they were willing to give up an hour of their time, not a whole day. And off the back of that, the channel's grown. It's done 10.5 million views in the last year. We've got podcasts with people that are here today, like Ben Collins, that have achieved over 3 million views, which put us at the top of the charts for a little bit. It really has gone strength for strength, and it's been fascinating what I get out of it as well.
You're like the Deliveroo of podcasts. It's amazing. The convenience is...
That van has been called many names, trust me.
How was the hill climb for you today anyway? Because that's what you were here for today, right?
I say I have done it before, but I think every time that you do the hill climb, you realise just how tight it is in the middle sector, in Sector 2. Like, I guess you start with a bit of a false sense of security because you're on that start line, you've got the light, it's quite wide, you can see everybody on the sides, and then suddenly, 10 seconds later, everything starts to close in on you, you know, but you're going faster. And, it's a different experience to doing anything else. It's
Scary?
like a single track lane, it really is.
Scary?
It is when it nearly goes wrong, yeah, really scary.
And what were you driving it in?
A Lamborghini Huracan Performante.
Is that the same Lamborghini you're going to drive?
Yes. So I nearly wasn't doing that drag race in 2 weeks' time.
So you got a few cars. Why did you choose that one for this one?
A, because I thought the four-wheel drive would keep me in a straight line, so I was wrong. B, because it's on Pilot Sport 4S tyres, and my others are on Cup 2s, which only perform in the dry and with heat, and we're not going to get any of that today. But the other issue is with that hill climb is any other event, any other track, you have a chance to warm your tyres up. You know, you go out for a warm-up lap, or you try and wheel spin out the pits, then you got your warm-up lap, then you send it. The issue with the hill climb is you sit still in the wet at the bottom for ages and then are expected to just send it from cold. And that's where I think all the issues come when you see people crashing, because the tyres are just freezing.
So have you got any precautions if you do get into a sticky situation, other than your extra pair of underwear?
I suppose that I'm friends with Matt, and I hope that he would buy the car if anything did go really wrong. Maybe for slightly more than the insurers will pay. So I guess that's my insurance policy that's not an insurance policy, I guess.
Amazing. Listen, you got so many things going on, and I can only assume they keep you super busy. Is there anything else that you've got on the horizon coming up that you're like, I really need to tackle this next?
To be honest, the thing is, YouTube, I can't actually believe. I love doing it, and it's opened up a world where I'm able to grow businesses off the back of it, meet different people. You know, I have a podcast guest come on. Suddenly, my digital marketing agency are doing all the websites for that company, and then you've got a link. And I guess what I underestimated was just how much time YouTube takes.
Sure.
It's insane, even with an editor and everything else. It's a complete... Go away. It's a complete full-time job, really. But it's been nice to find ways to integrate my other businesses from YouTube. So I've got a street food business called Gert Wings.
Tell us a little about that.
Yeah, Gert Wings, I just ended up going to this street food van in the middle of my local town, and it was absolutely rammed every single night.
And you thought, ching, ching.
I thought, this is unbelievable. I've never seen anything like this. So it was an opportunity to kind of invest into that business and grow it with multiple trucks, online stores, sources. And we would be here today, but the issue is we're fully booked for the whole year. So we're hoping that next year, if you come back to this event, you'll be able to try some Gert Wings.
Oh, nice.
So basically what you're saying is you're leaving no money on the table whatsoever.
Well, the thing is, yeah, you think that when you look at the paper and you're like, oh, that's done all right this month. But then you reinvest it into like another truck or like a bottling machine to put the liquid in the bottle. You turn around, you want to do something like, you know, go on holiday, and you think, hang on a second, when am I actually going to be paid from any of this stuff? Oh, here we go. So here comes my insurance policy. If you look behind him, he might actually be leaving a trail of purple dye down the road if it's raining. Because many of you might not know, and I'll let you into a little secret since he's been on the podcast. Matt Armstrong is actually ginger. He's as ginger as me and has to dye his hair every single week.
Hey, listen, embrace the ginger, my friend. Embrace it.
CJ,
Yo.
we got a lot of lovely people out there that probably want to ask a question to Ben. So I think it's only right.
Yeah,
if
that's
anyone
right.
has any questions for Ben,
I
Check
think we
in.
might
Hi, Matt.
talk about maybe the races that me and this guy
Hello,
have
Matt.
had recently, because I'm currently 3-1
Hello.
against him.
Any defense on the dye?
No,
bar?
there's no defense. I just look better than him.
just slower though.
This is like Drake
Apart
and
from
Kendrick all over
in a
again.
BMW, I'm faster.
That was a bad lap.
You're just bad.
I'm not bad. Literally, I'm 3-1 up against you.
You brought a Lamborghini, eh?
You always bring a car that you can tell the audience, oh yeah, well,
We
this is-
walked
we're
into
the
a domestic.
underdog.
I think
We're
we
the
have.
underdog. Sorry, guys.
He brings a Lamborghini with 4-wheel drive on a wet track and then says, oh yeah, I'm so much faster than him when I've got a rear-wheel drive McLaren or a rear-wheel drive Porsche. But then as soon as I bring a 4-wheel drive, bear in mind it's a BMW M3, I beat him in an M3 and he was in a Huracan. So that's it, it's done. Let's finish it over there. Let's go on to something else.
You invite me to these days, yeah? So it's up to you what you bring and how you do.
Okay.
The
Okay.
M3 was a bad day.
Brilliant. Okay.
All right, debate.
you guys
settled.
aren't that competitive then, really, are you?
Not really. No.
No, he'll say that he's not. The one that we found out is silently competitive is actually Matt's dad, Tony. Like, because you can't see the madness through the laughing. But, like, when he's with us, like when he was in his 430 the other week and we drove the Terramar, he's just all smiley and happy. And the next minute, Jones over there was shaking getting out the car. Because I know where he gets his sense of, like, no care for life about. Because Tony just sent it as well.
So Matt, you're joining us later,
I am, yeah.
What
but
are you doing here now?
I don't know. I thought I got called up. You were heckling me.
he's got the right to defend himself, right?
That's it.
So listen, we were going to open up a couple of questions. I think we should. If anyone wants to ask Ben anything about his podcast, about his YouTube channel, about his street food business, feel free to ask. Does anyone want to ask Ben anything?
Do we take the mic out there or?
Yeah,
No.
we got someone at the front. Come on.
Oh, fantastic.
It won't reach. You want to come up here? We've got a slightly lower budget this year.
Are you going to get some of your podcast guests to come and fish the lake, and some of the like automotive guys like Matt to come and fish the lake and have a go at something different?
I've actually had quite a few asked, and definitely not him, because A, he'll break my lake, he'll like crash it or something. B, he has the attention span of a gnat. Like literally, when we went away on our road trip, everybody else was like swapping vehicles, sharing the drive-in. He couldn't give the steering wheel away to anyone because at that point he would be less something to keep him busy. But in regard to other people, Freddie actually wants to come and do a couple of nights.
Amazing.
Tony is a secret angler from a couple of years ago and would like to come and do a couple of nights. So yeah, there is going to be some people coming, just definitely not him.
Cool. I'm going to come down as well.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else want to ask any questions to Ben while he's here? Last chance.
I've got a question, Ben. I've got a question. If, to go back 5 years, what would you have changed what you did now to then? Like, what would you have changed? Would you have changed anything?
Great question.
Now that you know all the knowledge that you've got, all the business knowledge, all the YouTube knowledge, all the podcast knowledge, what would you have changed?
Honestly, I'd have just hit the gym harder because what I've understood from YouTube is you do end up giving away all of your dignity. And I remember, like last week, I had to send some thumbnail shots over to Steve, and he needed it right there. And I was at a show. There's all these people, and I've got to like pose in front of a background and go. Like that. And I was in a wetsuit diving a lake on Monday with my front pouch very pronounced. And so yeah, if there's anything, I think I would have just lost a couple of extra stone maybe, so I had a little bit of dignity left.
It's never too late, man.
I wasn't expecting that, to be fair.
Nah, business is a flyer, mate. It's all good.
Well, listen, Ben, I think you look amazing. Don't we all agree? Doesn't Ben look amazing today? That was that was a bit of a question mark there, but I think you look good, Ben. Well, listen, thank you very much for joining us today. You are a phenomenal person to have on this panel today as part of this podcast, and we appreciate you. So thank you very much, and enjoy the rest of your hill climb.
Thank you very much.
Can we make some noise for Ben today, please?
And Matt, you'll be joining us later, yeah?